Hey, Pretty Girl Club. Welcome to another episode of Comment Foolery Exposed. In this video, we're going to talk about the updated Lipstick Alley thread. A lot of these women are very obsessed with what we're doing over here in Exotical land. I got that phrase from the Exotic Brown Skin. Be sure to follow her. She actually just passed 2,000 subscribers, so congrats to her. Yay, Pretty Girl Club. But I've noticed that a lot of these women, instead of creating their own channels, instead of building their own platforms, they choose to scream from the shadows about what we're doing over here in the Pretty Girl Club. And I say this all the time. If people don't like our talking points or they don't like my talking points, that's totally fine because this is just YouTube, right? So all you have to do is create your own YouTube channel, create your own videos with your own custom opinions and from your own personal perspective, and then the problem would be solved. But for a lot of people who are powerless and they lack follow through and they don't believe in themselves as content creators or just in general, they don't believe anyone will listen to them. And so what they'll do is they'll try to pull down the person that they see as being in a position of power. So I've noticed that's really what Lipstick Alley is, not just with this channel, but just with celebrities and in general. That's really all they talk about on places like Lipstick Alley. But this girl says, yep, I also took notice of the photos she uses when she does try to represent her idea of unambiguous black women. She'll use an off-guard photo of Coco Jones, and she used a random picture of Ari Lennox standing on the street wearing no makeup. It's so obvious because they never show exoticals in that light, nor do they post any average-looking or everyday exoticals. Okay, so let's address the last sentence. Average and everyday looking exoticals. First of all, this channel promotes the beauty within our community, so I don't generally use terms such as we look average or we look mediocre. I don't use that sort of language on this channel because I understand marketing, psychology, and the importance of subliminal messaging. So I'll never do that on this channel. I'm never going to post pictures of women within this community and say so-and-so is just average, she's just mediocre. I'm not going to do that. I'm always going to promote my phenotype, and I'm always going to promote beauty standard on this channel and praise the beauty regardless of what kind of exotical she is. And that's what you don't seem to understand, Gemini Divine, because you have this thinking pattern from this comment. It comes off as if you think of things in a hierarchy. And this is the problem that I've talked about in the Black community. They view beauty as a hierarchy. So they have a scarcity mindset around beauty. They feel like, oh no, only XYZ types of women are beautiful, then everybody else is average. And then there's a small percentage of people who are actually just ugly. So they feel like there's a hierarchy. There's the ugly girls, there's the average girls, and then there's the pretty girls. And they feel like we are, quote unquote, the pretty girls oftentimes, or women who don't look like themselves are the pretty girls. And also, you don't get to tell me what photos I can and can't post on my channel. This is my channel that I created, that I'm taking the time out to curate the videos and edit them. So if you're so concerned with your image, and if you're so concerned with the image of unambiguous black women, where's your channel? And this is exactly why a lot of unambiguous women feel like they're at the bottom. It's because they stay complaining and they are not creating channels. Even the people within your sector are quitting their YouTube channels or they're stopping their conversations because they've noticed that a lot of you guys have this mindset that is represented right here on this comment, where it's like no matter what you do, it's wrong. Literally every unambiguous photo I've ever posted on this channel, I've had unambiguous women come into my comment section and complain that that woman was ugly or that she was not pretty enough. They said Tika Sumpter, those pictures weren't good enough. Suki Hana wasn't good enough. Ari Lennox wasn't good enough. Tiana Taylor wasn't good enough. The pictures that I got directly from Chrissy's channel are not good enough. Coco Jones in her natural state is not good enough, because when I post unambiguous women, I try to post them in as natural of a state as possible so that I can properly explain what I'm talking about. So you're just mad, Gemini Divine, that I don't post unambiguous women with a whole bunch of lace fronts and shit. That's what you're mad about, because I include dark-skinned women on this channel who benefit from texturism. And so if I show an Ethiopian woman and her hair is real, and then I show an unambiguous woman and she has on a lace front, sometimes that can be confusing for the new people to this channel because they may not be able to tell the difference between the lace front versus the hair that's real. So that's why I do that. And also, number two, I am not required or obligated to represent unambiguous women in the way that you want me to. Once again, stop begging me to be your representation. My photos of unambiguous women, I got that definition directly from Black empowerment spaces. So they're the ones who wanted, like Normani, that sort of phenotype or whatever, to be their representation. And so that's what I'm going to show on this channel when I'm referencing unambiguous women. I don't see anything wrong with any of those women and how they look. And also with Normani in particular, she has glammed up photos all the time. Every photo I've ever used of Normani is glammed up because I can't find any photos of Normani in her natural state. And so you being upset about not seeing enough glammed up unambiguous Black women on a channel that doesn't even center unambiguous Black women, this shows the extreme entitlement. This shows the extreme clout chasing that happens. This shows that extreme coattail riding thing to where if you don't show unambiguous women looking perfect, then you must be colorist, racist, texturist, or featurist. You're doing the same thing with me that they did with Annie Leibovitz, that photographer. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. They did that same thing with her. So I've noticed people do the same thing with my channel. No matter what I post, oh, Exotical's United, she's purposely trying to show unambiguous women looking ugly. I've never said any of these women were ugly. I don't think that unambiguous women look ugly in their natural state. You, Gemini Divine, are the one who thinks that unambiguous women look ugly in their natural state. You said she showed a picture of Ari Lennox standing on the street wearing no makeup. You're talking about this photo. First of all, she's not on the street. She appears to be outside with grass in the background, and she does appear to be wearing makeup. Her hair looks like she has, done a wash and go or it's moisturized. So I see nothing wrong with showing an unambiguous woman in her natural state. The Dark Vixen says, because they are hypocrites to the highest order, notice how many unattractive biracial and mixed women with fucked up features always post Halle Berry and other biracial models and actresses as their representation, but not the average looking ones. So I would love for you to pull up a picture of what hierarchy you're putting mixed and biracial women on. Because like I said, this channel actually does not support hierarchy thinking, because thinking in terms of hierarchies, that's actually more of a scarcity mindset. So anybody who actually follows my channel knows that when it comes to beauty, I don't like to promote scarcity mindset on this channel. So no, I actually do not feel like Halle Berry or whoever else you're talking about, models and actresses, are higher up than women who are not famous. I don't view women like that. I don't view women as like, oh, if you're more famous, then you're automatically more beautiful. I don't compare mixed and biracial women one to another and then try to say, oh, well, so-and-so is prettier than this other girl because she looks more white, or this girl's lighter than the other girl, so therefore she's prettier, or Halle Berry is prettier because she has loose curly hair, so she's prettier than a mixed woman with 4C hair. I don't have that sort of mindset, Dark Vixen. So that's your problem, and that's the problem that they have in the unambiguous community. They are so busy creating hierarchies, and they don't understand that when you create hierarchies, somebody's always going to be at the bottom. And so this is why you've got millions of unambiguous women at this point saying that they feel like they're at the bottom. You know why? Because even amongst unambiguous women, they're constantly promoting the unambiguous women with the lace fronts. So then the unambiguous women with the 4C hair, which is really the majority of them, they will say things like, oh, well, I hate my 4C hair. Part of why they're saying that is because you guys amongst yourselves have perpetuated this hair texture hierarchy and this hierarchy based on features and skin tone. So we don't do that over here. So that's why I don't really care. I show women of all the different phenotypes, all different nose sizes, all different hair textures. I've even shown some plus size women on here. I try to find as many diverse photos as I can to put in my channel. And on this part of the thread, they're talking about Nara Smith, saying that she's ugly and looks like a pit bull. This person says, Nara Smith looks like a pit bull, especially her side profile. Someone else said, she's so ugly to me. So do you see how they are exposing what features they view as ugly? Like I said before, they view wider, flatter noses as being ugly, especially if you have a small space between your nose and your lips, and maybe you have kind of larger lips. I've noticed that they said the same thing about Jay-Z. He also has these types of features. Ari Lennox has that same look. Ice Spice has a similar look to that. And so this is them exposing their own internalized featurism. But if I were to ever pull up a picture of an unambiguous woman and say she looks like a pit bull, my whole channel would be gone. And also, have you ever noticed that if you are viewed as privileged, you're not allowed to call anyone ugly? If you are viewed as the pretty girl, you're not allowed to talk down on other people's features. It's only the women who are quote unquote at the bottom or who feel like they're beneath you who get to call you ugly, or they get to call other people ugly freely. It's because they feel like they themselves are ugly. This person says, I was watching one of her videos and it creeped me out how she ranted about unambiguous black women posting pictures of women of certain phenotypes. If black girls want to choose other black African girls as their beauty icons, how is it an issue? And then she shows a picture of a horn African woman. The reason that this is an issue is because you guys are the ones complaining about featurism. And so don't complain about featurism when you guys are the ones promoting the women who do not have those West African / Bantu Central African features. And I'm talking about African American monoracial dark-skinned black women with 4C hair, because you guys have had the tendency to always choose a non-American woman who you know damn well if she was in the United States, she would instantly be asked what she is. She would not be associated with the African American ethnic group, and you guys know that. And you know that she would be othered. I noticed that a lot of unambiguous African American women, they try to choose dark-skinned women that are exotified. They're choosing these women as their representation because they know that these women are exotified compared to unambiguous African American women with those West African / Bantu features. And so they'll try to clout chase off of these Ethiopian, Somali, Eritrean women when you know that most of the unambiguous dark-skinned African American women do not look like this. Everybody in Africa doesn't have the exact same look. And you know that. Africa's a whole entire continent. You know damn well that the majority of people walking around in America who are unambiguous African Americans, they do not look like this. She said, how is it an issue for a fully black girl to rep the beauty of another black girl straight up from the motherland? So I actually don't have an issue with you guys pedestalizing us. I mean, obviously we enjoy being pedestalized. We enjoy that you guys like to promote us. I support us making money off of your community. I enjoy the fact that you guys have pushed us to the forefront to the point where a lot of people in this community have been able to make money off of both your women and your men, whether it's selling products to you guys, whether it is acting as your beauty standard, whether it's winning pageants or, getting into these high positions. So that's never going to be a problem because I always promote us getting exotical tax. So the only thing is just don't complain later on that we're erasing you when you guys are the ones erasing yourselves. Because what you're basically saying is, why is it so bad for me to erase myself by using these women from these countries that are not a part of my personal background, who look nothing like me? The only thing they share in common with me is a skin tone. Everything else is totally different. Why is it bad for me to promote women who don't look like me? Well, it's technically not bad as long as you don't care about not being quote unquote pedestalized. This person says, because they have West African features that most African Americans have, those foreign black women have features specific to their own respective areas of Africa. They don't look like African American unambiguous black women. Exactly. They strategically pick women who do not look like African American unambiguous black women. I'm talking about those West to Central African / Bantu features. I may be messing up the terminologies, but you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You guys think that the Jay-Z features are ugly. You guys think that the Tiana Taylor, Ari Lennox types of features are ugly. You just called Nara Smith ugly just a couple of paragraphs ago. This girl says, not true at all. She looks similar to many African American unambiguous black women. She is a black African woman. So, but once again, Africa is a whole entire continent. So we all know that African American unambiguous black women, we all know about the slave trade and how the majority of people in the slave trade did not look like how this woman looks. We all know, if you're African American, you know that the majority of us do not have Ethiopian, Somali, or Eritrean, heavily in our backgrounds to where that's the normal phenotype. So you're being disingenuous. But I mean, if you want to keep pedestalizing those women, of course, I have no problem with it because I want us to continue to have an image and status. So I mean, go off. I mean, if this is what you want to be your representation, that's fine. Just don't complain about us getting all of the opportunities and stuff later on. She said, many black people who are proud of their roots don't have a problem with African women representing us. Yeah, but I'm not talking about the African women who are proud of their roots. I'm talking about the African women who are not proud of their roots, which are, for the majority, African American, unambiguous black women. You know how I know that? It's because they don't show dark skinned black women with West African or Bantu features with the 4C hair as their main beauty standard. They tend to show a majority of women who would be more so on this channel, as opposed to women who look like how Suki Hana or Ari Lennox looks. She said, "What does this even have to do with EU, who is multiracial, not black?" This has a lot to do with me because you guys accuse women like myself and the rest of the women on this channel of benefiting from isms. You tell us to get out of your spaces, you follow us to our spaces, then you create 25-page lipstick alley threads about our spaces. And also, my channel focuses on our experiences with the black community because blackness is what we all have in common here. So what I'm attempting to do with this channel is get rid of the white supremacist talking points from the multiracial spaces. And I'm also trying to bring us together based on our commonalities, because our commonality is really our privilege. It's not supposed to be just a race-focused channel. This channel from day one was never meant to only focus on multiracials. From day one, my channel was called Exoticals United. I strategically called it that name. I did not call it Multiracials United on purpose because I knew that my channel was created for me to include both multiracial black women as well as monoracial black women who get othered, kind of like the woman that you just showed with the keen features, who we know that if she was walking around here in the United States, that people would absolutely not automatically assume you're an unambiguous African American woman. No, they wouldn't. Even African Americans would be asking her, "Oh wait, are you Ethiopian? Are you something else?" And then she says, "Also, Ari Lennox has been praised for her beauty." I never said Ari Lennox was not praised for her beauty, but I do think that on average, other women who look different than Ari Lennox get praised more for their beauty by unambiguous black women themselves, because you guys need us to represent you. It's to the point where I'm done saying you guys want us. No, you guys need us, which is why you're actually fighting to keep the Somali, Eritrean, and Ethiopian women as your dark-skinned representation. So you're actually proving my point that you guys need the women who benefit from featurism and texturism to be your dark-skinned beauty standard. So on one hand, you'll accuse those darker skinned women of benefiting from featurism and texturism. Then on the other hand, you'll say, "Oh no, but we need you to represent dark skinned beauty because we don't want to have the West African or Central African and Bantu African American women representing us. Oh no, we got to go all the way to Ethiopia and pull some of those women, or pull some women who have these Somali phenotypes and these Eritrean phenotypes to be our representation." So you're actually proving my point. Thank you. I rest my case. This person says, "Y'all literally download images from Pinterest that are not yours to masquerade like the biracials y'all wish you resembled." So first of all, not only do I use images from Pinterest on this channel, I have also strategically used both my actual picture as well as the actual pictures of my subscribers in my stock photo library on this YouTube channel. And I did that on purpose because I knew that somebody would try to come up with this talking point right here. So no, actually we're not masquerading. We actually show ourselves on our videos. And also the Pinterest images that I use, the difference that I'm trying to talk about on this channel is how mixed race women or women with these different phenotypes like keener features or whatever, a lot of times when we get glammed up, like whether it's extensions or makeup, oftentimes it goes with our phenotype because we do stuff that matches our natural features. The issue with a lot of unambiguous African American women with the darker skin and 4C hair is a lot of those women will only choose women for their beauty standard who have lace front wigs on. I've noticed that, especially if she's dark skinned with West African features, she has to have on a lace front. They won't choose somebody that shows her 4C hair. They'll choose somebody who has those West African features and the dark skin, but she has to have her hair bone straight. I don't do that with my images from Pinterest. I show all the different hair textures. I show girls with natural hair, with wigs and weaves, all the different hair colors. I show women with makeup, without makeup, with freckles, without freckles. So yeah, nice try. This person says, Do any of y'all in here know any African Americans or even West Africans? Plenty have smaller features, and those that have fuller features are still cute. Smaller features doesn't equal more attractive. Okay, so then why do you guys have this term that you came up with called featurism, where you talk about the dark-skinned women with the keener features who you feel are viewed as more attractive as you? You talk about being at the bottom. Okay, so then who's ahead of you? The women who you accuse of benefiting from featurism. So that talking point right there has been destroyed. And then this person says, are these women not Black African? Does it piss you off to see attractive Black women? We have a range of attractiveness just like every other race. Bye. So the problem with you guys, though, is that you create a hierarchy of attractiveness within the Black female beauty spaces to the point where you guys don't know it, but you actually are elevating women who do not look like yourself. So I've noticed that basically the further away a woman's phenotype gets from your own natural, unambiguous African American phenotypes, the prettier she is in you guys' eyes. And this is why you guys ignored Ari Lennox in favor of Chloe Bailey. Both have similar features. The only difference is Chloe Bailey has light skin. They both have 4C hair and West African / Bantu features, but you guys still chose to go with Chloe Bailey and stan her over Ari Lennox. And this person says, my comment was in response to Exotical United's use of glammed up biracial or mixed women and how she compares her phenotype to them. So once again, I do not use only pictures of glammed up biracial or mixed women. And also the level of glam up that we do, it still tends to match our phenotypes on average, hence why even people like Chrissy herself and other Black empowerment YouTubers have said that we are perceived as having more effortless beauty. It's because for a lot of us, it's not as forced because we tend to match our hair textures, or, you know, maybe it's, maybe we are like mixed race or whatever. So it just makes us look more like one of our mixes versus the other one. You guys are unambiguous. And so anyone who's knowledgeable about unambiguous African Americans is gonna know that your hair is a lace front, or that, you know, for the most part, people are gonna be able to tell, especially with the lace front, with the glued down edges and stuff. So yeah, you guys' standards of glammed up, I've noticed you guys do a lot of extreme glamming up to the point where it frustrates you guys when you're trying to look like us. To the point where a lot of you guys have like ripped out the edges of your hair and done all this crazy stuff because you're trying to look glammed up. So me looking glammed up, like a glammed up mixed woman, I just put on some makeup or something. Or I put on a half wig. I don't even have to put on the full lace front to where it's like, oh, you know, I have to cover up all my edges and everything so I can hide my hair texture and shit. That's not as big of a problem in this community as it is in your community. And I will continue to point out that difference. This person says, another thing is EU's campus hypocritical. Notice it's okay for biracial or mixed women to be glammed up, yet anytime there's a beautiful, unambiguous Black woman, they say for her to remove her makeup and hair. First of all, I'm not the queen of the unambiguous Black community. I never said, oh, unambiguous Black women, they have to remove their makeup and they have to remove their weaves. We all know that hell would freeze over before most of you guys would choose to remove those things anyway, hence why we will continue to be put on the pedestal. But no one cares about you guys getting glammed up as long as you put some respect on our names. And also, my content, like when I'm making my YouTube videos, it's more so directed towards the Black empowerment content creators who have talked crap about my phenotype specifically. So my content itself doesn't even apply to all unambiguous Black women. Anybody who thinks that a YouTube video applies to every single person in a group is a person who doesn't understand nuance. And I can tell that you're obviously one of those people. Amara Zobo. Someone said, how about you stop watching her channel since it disturbs you so much? Why are you giving her views? And this person says, didn't y'all stay watching Chrissy? EU still does to this day, despite not being her target audience. Yeah, I watch YouTube videos all the time that I'm not their target audience. And as far as me watching the Black empowerment spaces, I do that on purpose because number one, I get paid off of responding to Black empowerment spaces. And number two, if I really get ticked off, I can simply talk about the same exact talking points from my perspective and then throw it back in the face of the people who tried to come against this space and also get paid off of it. And all of us can. So just like how they can watch our channel and how you can stalk my channel, Amara Zobo, We get to watch whatever channels we want as well. But the difference, though, is that I don't have to go and create an entire 25-page thread about their channel. Instead, I'll just create a YouTube channel. All these women talking this shit, they would be better off creating YouTube channels. You guys could have been monetized by now. I noticed the same thing. We get told to post what we really look like. She will use a picture of Whoopi to represent unambiguous black women, but a picture of Vanessa Williams to represent mixed women instead of Rain Pryor. So are you implying that you think that Vanessa Williams is prettier than Whoopi Goldberg? You heard it here first, folks. This person is the one who said it. I didn't say that. I never said Vanessa Williams is prettier. Nope. She is the one who is pointing out that she believes that Whoopi Goldberg is ugly in comparison to Vanessa Williams. And she also is implying that she believes that Rain Pryor is ugly. And the only thing that I see about Rain Pryor is she simply looks like a woman of color. Like, I don't understand what features you think are ugly. Please point out what is ugly about Rain Pryor. Eyes, nose, lips, skin tone, hair texture. She said, I actually like some of her points, especially when she discusses how pretty women get bullied and mistreated. So you seem to not be able to relate to that, though, because you are trying to bully and mistreat the women that I post on my channel and say that it's somehow wrong because, I'm using Vanessa Williams. You're trying to imply that I'm trying to use Vanessa Williams as a flex on unambiguous women because you are actually exposing that you view Vanessa Williams' phenotype as a flex. She said, society often wants to focus on the so-called benefits pretty women receive. I enjoy her videos on creating your own beauty standards and worshiping yourself. Okay, so you enjoy my videos on creating beauty standards, yet you seem to think that I have not used Rain Pryor as a beauty standard on this channel, which I actually have. I've used thousands of pictures on this channel at this point, and I specifically took some of the pictures from Lipstick Alley. So I have included Rain Pryor. I included, I think you guys said somebody named Yaya Mayweather or something like that. You guys tried to name these women that you think are ugly. I actually added all of those women to my stock library to be a representation of beauty on this channel. So your talking point that you're saying in the first sentence, that's actually inaccurate. She said, I think Exotical's United's channel centers around her feeling betrayed by the black community. I think at one point she was in a super pro-black chapter of her life and saw that she was used as an accessory. I believe her love and care for the community is and was genuine. Once she saw how nasty people could be towards her due to things out of her control, skin tone, racial makeup, and looks, she may have given up. I think her anger comes from being frustrated at being seen as the villain. So you seem to think that these videos are out of anger. So now I'm questioning your emotional intelligence. I appreciate that you like some of my videos. However, I do think that this is disingenuous because you probably knew that I was going to read this comment on here. So you're trying to make it like you're a nice girl. You're trying to do like a backhanded diss instead of a straight out diss. Because you don't want me to drag you so hard, I can tell by this comment. But if you view calling out the truth as anger, that means that you actually lack emotional intelligence because somebody calling out a different perspective, it doesn't have to be anger, but even if it is anger, what's wrong with me showing a range of emotions on YouTube? I'm not afraid of being labeled angry like how you guys are in the unambiguous community. I don't live my life based on avoiding stereotypes like how you guys do. I don't spend my life running away from an angry, bitter stereotype. I've noticed that in the black community, a lot of you guys have tended to center your identities around your traumas. And so everything is about, what do white people think about me? Okay, they think I'm angry and bitter, so let me go out of my way to try to not be angry and bitter. I don't have those limiting beliefs on me. So even if you guys do think that I'm angry and bitter, that is a-okay with me because everybody's not going to like me. So there are going to be people who think I'm angry and bitter, but that's not going to stop me from doing what I love. And it's not going to stop me from talking my shit. She said, I get the impression that she entered a state of shock when she realized how much anger people have regarding colorism and felt unfairly blamed. Okay, but even so, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with somebody experiencing shock at the fact that they are randomly ostracized? I don't see anything wrong with that whatsoever. In fact, I embrace all of my experiences, both positive and negative. I embrace all of my qualities, both positive and negative, and I'm not apologizing for who I am. None of us are. We're not going anywhere. You're not going to be able to bully all of us off of YouTube. She says when she starts trying to go at unambiguous black women, she sounds bitter and angry. So once again, you're hoping that I will stop talking about unambiguous black women on this channel because you think that I fear being called bitter and angry like how you guys do. I don't care if you guys think I'm bitter and angry. You guys got to talk about light-skinned women for over 10 years. You guys talked about mixed women, biracial women, whatever, colorism, texturism, featurism. So now I have a right to talk about that as well. And I'm never going to get tired of it. I'm not going to be like how Chrissy is and give up. I'm not going to be like how other content creators have been and they gave up because they allowed people on YouTube to get to them, or they allowed commenters on Lipstick Alley to get to them. I'm just going to continue making money off of this. Exotical tax. This one says, also, I'm confused by her using any attractive black woman as an example of an ambiguous black woman. No, that is me calling out the hypocrisy in your beauty standards. You guys only call black women attractive when they have either keen features, type 3 hair, or light skin. That's you guys' standard in the unambiguous black community. Or she has to be wearing some sort of lace front or something and have like tons of makeup or whatever. You guys don't like yourselves in your natural state. And so I took advantage of that. I took advantage of that gap and that hypocrisy that you guys had over in the black empowerment space, and I flipped it and said, okay, fine. All of the quote unquote preferences, beauty standards, whatever, the ones who benefit from the colorism, texturism, featurism, we're all going to come over here because we are, seen as privileged or whatever in those communities. And so that's you guys that made us the attractive ones. I mean, don't get me wrong, we think we're attractive as well, but you guys are the main ones who pointed out the difference to the point where now we are noticing a pattern here. She said, I think she may benefit more from just sticking to speaking as a biracial woman. So I actually identify as triracial because I have decided to embrace my 12% indigenous admixture that is also in there with the African and European mixture. And she says, a light-skinned black woman and a biracial woman do not live the same experiences. Never said they did. So I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. So you're doing that same tactic that a lot of black women have tried to do where they try to divide us up and they say, well, you're just a light-skinned black woman. You're not mixed. You're not a real exotical. Oh, well, you're a dark-skinned mixed woman. You're not light-skinned. You won't be accepted by the light skins. Oh, well, you're light-skinned, but you're not high yellow. So you won't be accepted by the high yellows. Oh, you're high yellow, but you're not white passing. You won't be accepted. So you're trying to divide us all up and say you guys don't live the same experiences. But here on this channel, we focus on the experiences that we do live that are the same. And so one experience that all of us have across the board that's the same is receiving privilege or being viewed as privileged or being put on a pedestal, being fetishized, and also being antagonized and having people be jealous of us. We do live the same experience in that way. So yes, a light-skinned black woman and a biracial woman both live those same experiences of being fetishized, pedestalized. You put one against the other. You try to triangulate those women. You accuse them of benefiting from an ism or benefiting from a certain type of privilege. That is the lived experience of all of the women on this channel, regardless of our race or our complexions. This person says, people like Exoticals United are influenced by Horn of African demonization of West Africa. This person says, I didn't realize this was happening, but I have seen a couple of her followers state that they were East African and they feel they're prettier than unambiguous black women and that unambiguous black women bully them. EU is insisting we ignore women with broad/West African features and that we don't find them as beautiful as we do women with narrower features. Well, yeah, because you guys don't. You guys don't like dark-skinned black women with broad features and 4C hair. You guys never promote dark-skinned, broad-faced black women without a lace front on. Name 25 women that you guys have promoted as your beauty standard. Dark skin, black woman, broad features with no lace front. I'll wait. Anyway, what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.